Good evening. This is Devang Mehra, and welcome to the market outlook for January 18th, 2022, which is Tuesday. I'll spend about 5 minutes on the markets today, what happened in the markets today, and then 10 minutes on how we can plan the markets tomorrow, or rather, how can we scalp in the markets tomorrow. Because for this week, or for the first half of this week, I have given you a stance that we will not be aggressive on the index, but we will be following a stock specific stance. So, without further ado, let's get started. If you enjoy these videos, please do like, subscribe, share, comment. That would mean a lot to me and motivate me to produce these videos every single day. And I do hope that you followed the advice of not going aggressive on the market today, especially on the options index front. And if I open the charts of Nifty 15 minutes, Nifty was a little bit more stable and it kept on consolidating throughout the upper end of the range. The first 15 minutes candles was quite aggressive for both Nifty and Bank Nifty. And I would say that is majorly due to the HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank first went up higher. People got excited. Then the insiders, I would say, they dumped the stock and everyone, just got trapped in that first candle itself. So a lot of people would have got trapped, but but very luckily, I would say I wasn't active on the index front, and I was fully. If you're noticing, I've been fully active on the stocks front, and we've accumulated about 6 stocks and roughly in the last 2 days, and all of them have fairly given us great results. We started off on, if I just show you how things have been working out, and I would really love to know who is sitting in which stock. So let me know in the comments what companies have you accumulated with me in the last 2 days. So we bought off Prestige around 499. It's currently around 513. It's come off the highs and it's got a very, very strong actually weekly resistance over here. So we'll see how this works out, but it's working out very well. We got Prince Pipes today at the lower end of the day, around at 721, currently around 736. We got Tata Steel. I think that was a very good banger today, around bought it around 1191, I believe, and made a high of around 1242. So I hope you made some good money on Tata Steel. We made some good money on Paytm. We made some good money on India Cements, which was freaking us out in the start of the day, but it's back to where it belongs, thanks to the Ultratech cement results. And I believe the cement sector will be in focus. Good guidance has been given by the Ultratech, and that will lead to a good movement in the Nifty infra sector. So that will be something that we keep a close eye on. And finally, we bought Jubilant in Grevia. And I was waiting throughout the day when to buy. And I think around 3 o'clock, I sent you an update that let us buy now. We bought it around 630 was the exact price we bought it at, and we got a high of 639, 640. So I'm happy with how our equity has been performing. And my request to all of you is the same. Please stay stock specific. We are around 13 days, 14 days short of the budget. And we always see these pre-budget rallies, pre-budget falls, and that will lead to a lot of volatility on the index. Secondly, a lot of companies posting results that will also add to the volatility. So, for example, I think tomorrow is Bajaj Finance's day. That's a big index heavyweight. So, what happens is, depending upon how the results are, the share is going to go plus or minus, and that's going to have a good impact on the benchmark. So, volatility will be there. And if you do not know what time the results are coming in, you'll just be a fool to the market. So, for example, today, the rally that was brought in the second half was on account of the Ultratech results and how all cement companies just followed its tracks, and because of that Nifty went up. So I think it's very important, two things: be less aggressive on the index, and number two, you should know every day which result is scheduled. So I think for the first 2 weeks, that is something important. Reliance is going to post over the weekend, Friday evening. ICICI, I believe, will be on Saturday. So they are two important results. So Monday will be again a very important day, how markets open, how they perform. So these are a couple of things that just wanted to alert you guys on. On the intraday chart of Nifty today, it was purely volatile. We had some, bullishness in the morning session, thanks to the banks that was supporting us. We got a good, 38,200 all the way to 38,600. But when the bank started to underperform, the finance started to underperform, and then the auto sector was the one that was holding the markets. And eventually, if you don't have the banks, the ITs, and the financial companies, auto or metals, they can't do anything. So everything eventually started to become sideways or consolidate at the upper end of the day. So Nifty we got a good, shake off around 130, but it got immediately bought into. And that's again and again showing how strong the bulls are. So the advice I've been giving everyone is that as long as you're not getting a daily closing which is negative, a daily closing which is poor, I think we should continue the buy on dip stance. So Nifty is moving 100 points, 120 points every single day. It's great for a person who's scalping this market, but for a positional trader, if you want to go positionally short or positionally massively long, wait for closings that you will like. So for example, which I'll discuss about that later, talk about Bank Nifty. Very volatile, right? Very volatile, very sideways. And today was all about protecting this 38,200 level. And market tried to come below this level, but I gave you an update on Telegram. I hope you enjoyed that update. I said that 38,200 will be a very important intraday support. And as long as you're staying above that level, just be in the buy on dip stance and do not do any aggressive longs. And because of that, you can see markets tried to come down, but again and again got bought into. There was a bit of volatility at the end of the day, but it's closed above 38,200, which has become a good support for the day. So just concluding on how we can look at the markets in the next coming days, I just put one thought in your mind. That's all I want to do as a coach. And this thought is quite simple. If you play sports, you will be able to understand this example. And let me know in the comments after you've listened to it if you like these examples. If you play cricket, right? If you watch cricket, T20 matches, you'll see that the first 6 overs when the power play is on, the action is quite interesting, right? People are going to go for boundaries. They're going to go for sixes, and they will try to avoid singles. And once the 6th over, 7th over starts, till about 15th, 16th over, the action is slow, and then the again action resumes. Look at the game of chess. If you play chess, you will see that the first couple of moves in chess are quite fast. Then we try to understand of what the opponent wants to do. We strategize, and that play becomes slow. And then towards the end, the play becomes the fast. Look at athletics. When you're doing athletics, especially middle distance running. So, for example, if you watched Olympics and especially my favorite 1500 meters, you'll see that first round or the first 200-300 meter after the start will be quite fast. People try to set paces, and then the next 1,000 meters or so, or I would say 600 meters, will become quite slow. People get divided into packs, groups, and then in the last 600 meters, again the momentum starts. What am I trying to say? If you are able to catch that hint, markets just like sports. How in sports people pause, people consolidate. These sports consolidate. Same is the thing for the market. For the market to go from point A to point B, it is required that the markets consolidate and then they go higher. So this is something we have to understand. This is why I've been saying it again and again that, guys, is it a dip or is it a consolidation? Is the question that you need to keep on answering. Is it a breakout or just a fake out? It's a question you need to keep on answering, because until we're having consolidations, you can't expect very, very high markets, is the idea that I'm bringing out to you. What I'm trying to bring to the table is quite simple. If you observe the charts of Nifty now please try to follow with me. It's not very difficult. Let me look at the global markets for a jiffy. It's doing fine. SGX is okay. Asian markets closed fine. The European markets are doing great. The American markets look also flattish. VIX is down, which will be okay. The oil has fallen down. Good for India. The yields have come down. The dollar is trading flattish. So things are fine. Nothing to worry about currently on the global market front. Observe the chart of Nifty now and try to understand. This is what I kept on saying. कि यार अगर Nifty फ्लैट ट्रेड करेगा, कंसोलिडेट करेगा, then आपको ट्यूसडे को ट्रेड मिलेगा, not otherwise. That's why in the morning when that momentum happened, you got a fake out just because the markets never consolidated. Now the plan is quite simple. You can see markets are consolidating. If tomorrow markets are opening flattish, get a 30-40 point range, like something like this. If they open flattish and they start to go above these highs, you can go long for a good 1:1 or a 1:2 target. We are not looking for very, very big targets, right? We'll be careful, but we will go for 1:1, 1:2 quite simply. So if the markets are opening flat and they start to break off the highs, go for a good 1:1, 1:2 targets. You will be able to risk rewards. You will be able to achieve that. You can clearly see, if I zoom out of the chart, you can see that we have a very, very good support coming in at 18,120. So overall, as a positional trader, as someone overall viewing Nifty, not for the intraday perspective, I would like to believe that as long as 18,120, the lows that have been made and protected quite a lot of times, as long as they're protected, I would like to be a buyer on dip. I've made it very, very clear. If for some reason tomorrow the market start to come down and give you a closing below this, that could be a signal that the trend wants to bend. But a closing on a daily chart has to be seen below that level. Because right now, anyone who has gone long in this market has a stop loss around 18,120. So any dips towards 18,120, towards 18,200, which was a massive level earlier, they become viable dips. That is the idea that I'm trying to put it in your mind as a positional trader. As an intraday trader, it's quite simple. You open flattish, go for a 1:2, 1:1 risk reward, which is fine. You can see that currently the entire buying is coming from this level of 18,260. So if, for example, markets are opening only below these levels, let us say the markets open below these levels, give you a good 60, 70 point gap down, then you can expect, the markets to make a range of a lower end of 18,150 and higher of 18,300. So this 150 point range can be made in this market. This is what I am again trying to explain, that we are looking for compressions in the market to happen. We're looking for volatility to be created. That's why unless until some clear signals are seen on the chart, we will not trade aggressively on the index. This is the plan that I'm giving you. Secondly, if the market is opening, flattish and it tries to go below this level of 18 down to 60, you can try to do some short in some small quantity. But I will be only keeping my shorts on small quantities. The reason is because still on the bigger chart, I am above my cutoff levels. I am above my 18,120 level. So I will remain buy or dip. But yes, on the intraday chart, for someone who wants to scalp for 15, 20, 30 minutes, you can go short if the market goes below this. But again, on a flattish or a small gap down opening. If the market is opening very big gap up, it will turn into volatile market. So I think all these things are quite clear. So Nifty has given a strong footing. It's given a strong closing. So I think all will depend upon how the markets are opening. If tomorrow markets open gap up, please remember it's going to be volatile like always. How gap ups have been volatile. Look at this example. High lifetime, the recent high closing, gap up, volatility. So this is always going to happen. Look at this example. Recent high closing, gap up, created volatility. So this will keep on continuing. So gap up should be ignored, or please book profits if you're in longs. Be stock specific. Any big gap down, again, something I'm not so interested in. The only good trade can come if a flat opening happens and the highs break, or a flat opening happens and the lows break. So these are two scenarios that we can play out. Otherwise, 18,150 to 18,120 and 18,320, this current high, that's become a very strong range of Nifty, and Nifty can be expected to move within this range. So let it consolidate and then let it give you direction, and then we will trade aggressively in that direction. In the meantime, be stock specific. If you look at the charts of Bank Nifty, the Bank Nifty charts have little bit easier to interpret actually. Yesterday, I talked about something very simple on the market outlook video, and I talked about how the market must consolidate at 38,600, 38,550, and only if it does that, only then we will be going for extremely or aggressive long opportunities. And this again pause, which I've explained with various sport examples, this pause is something which we need to for us to turn bullish. Please understand one thing: if the market has fallen down, it will turn volatile, then compress, and then again move higher. That's how reversals take place. If you look at the current juncture, you have seen a fall, you've seen the markets to become volatile. Tomorrow is quite important for Bank Nifty, if you ask me. Currently, we got a good higher low, so you can't go aggressively short on the banks right now. So if tomorrow a couple of things can happen. So what if the markets are opening, gap up? It'll create volatility. It'll again create volatility because people have gone short. They have a SL around 38,550. People who've gone long will be putting SLs around 38,250 levels. So the markets then will be moving within this range and creating volatility. If tomorrow markets open gap down, they will try to first come down. They will take a good support in this region. And then you have to see what happens. Is the market then building up over here, consolidating over and then breaking down? That can be a good short trade after 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Or if the market opens gap up, it's likely that then it will try to, be volatile and try to close or consolidate around 38,600. The entire idea is, if you want to become bullish, as I explained today in the live markets also, you have a cutoff line currently at 38,400. जहां से आज मार्केट क्लोज के ऊपर हो नहीं पा रहा था. सो अगर इसके ऊपर आओगे, then it's like the bulls start to attack. Currently bulls are defending and bears are attacking. So as long as you're below 38,400, have some intraday scalping, I would say bearish hint अपने में रखो. Above 38,400 volatility रखो, and volatility अभी भी रहेगा, but above 38,400 थोड़ा सा bullish tint हम रखेंगे. 38,600 consolidation के बाद ही we can become bullish. Currently where we have closed is not a very good closing. So if tomorrow market start to break these lows, you can expect a good, momentum till 38,000. But I am still not concerned on very aggressive shorts. I will be only looking for aggressive shorts or a good short on the market when the market gives me a closing below 38,000. On a bigger chart, if you zoom out and check, 38,000 and 38,600 has been a very strong range the markets have been traveling in. So I am not, ठीक है, scalping करना है, 50-100 point लेना है, you can go short below 38,150. You can try to go for targets of 30,150 levels. ये 100 point मिल जाएगा. But this 38,050 till 38,000, in my opinion, is still a good support on a bigger chart. If market starts to close on a 15-minute chart tomorrow below these levels, then I would like to believe that this gap filling, what we've been talking about for a long period of time, which is till 37,700, that is something which you will plan for. So ये एक 300 point का positional trade या अच्छा trade मिल सकता है. But for that to happen, markets must close below 38,000. Otherwise, 38, 38.6 is a good range the markets have been closing in. Everything will depend upon where the markets are opening tomorrow. Gap up will create volatility. Flattish opening and breaking of 38,000, it can lead to further pressure. So as I said earlier, we have to be very sector specific, and that's the reason why currently I'm not giving you any equity picks from the banking sector, because we made a lot of money on the banks all the way from 20th of December. If you've been following for a long time, you made around good 10-15% on the ICICI Bank personally. So try to shift your focus to what sectors are coming into play, and accordingly we will be interested. So ये एक आपको मैंने index का overview दिया है. There are 2 or 3 stocks that are looking good positionally, which I would like you all to throw your eyes on. Number one is something which has been brought to my attention by Mr. Aman, who is my YouTube member. The stock is Aarti Industries. Again, these are not intraday stocks. They're all positional stocks, swing trading stocks, or investment stocks. If you are becoming bullish on chemicals with me by buying the Jubilant Ingrevia, then you can have a look at the Aarti Industries chart. You can see that it's been given a great breakout and the markets have been consolidating. So if the market on Aarti starts to go above 1120, then this level of 1170 will open up. So it's a good 4-5% that is available on Aarti Industries. And since it looks like a good flaggish pattern also, this could be the targets that one could aim for positionally, or someone who is willing to do investment. So this entire rally that you got in of 130 rupees is something one can expect. So the target eventually can come near 1220 level. So a good 100-point momentum can come in. And if this breakout above 1120 happens, the stop loss can be around 1080 level. So a good 40-point stop loss and a 1:3 risk reward is something that can turn out on Aarti Industries. So again, for a positional perspective, because we can see right now the volume, the market movement on the upside was quite strong, but the volume, the market moving on the sideways side, you can see a compression happening. So that's getting in the analysis. Secondly, the other stock is Tata Consumer, which is also doing quite well. Another idea that has been brought about by our members. Tata Consumer, very similar to the Tata Steel chart. Very, very similar to Tata Steel chart. Basically, if the banking is starting to come under pressure, and that'll mean the IT again comes into focus. That'll again mean that the pharma and the consumption space starts to come into focus. So currently we haven't been in the banks, we've been in the capital goods sector, cement sector. So if Tata Consumer, it's given a great double bottom breakout and things look quite comfortable from here. It's given you a great fall actually in the last couple of months thanks to inflation. So Tata Consumers already fell on 21%, and currently it trades around at a 12% discount from the 30% discount from the lifetime highs. So if Tata Consumer tries to go above 780 levels, that can give you a great inside bar breakout. So good levels on the dips to accumulate Tata Consumer. Maybe this is something I am interested in it personally. both of them actually, a good level. If I look at some approach I use, if the market, give either the market goes above 780, that'll give you a good momentum on the upside. Or if you get the market around 752 or 746, are two levels that could another be a buy on dip in this market. So Tata Consumer and Aarti Industries are two stocks that I've had a chance to look at, and they look very good positionally. That's all for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much.